Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Pickleball pre-competition webinar. The first slide you're seeing here is a car raffle that Special Olympics Maryland is offering. It's a great way to help support Special Olympics Maryland athletes and unified teammates throughout the state. You could get a chance to win a car, as you see here. The tickets are $10. There's also a bunch of other prizes as well. If you choose not to take the car, there is an option for $22,000 cash as well. The winner will be drawn on July 19th at the Lone Oak Brewing Company during one of the Special Olympics Maryland events. So just moving on, again, my name is Jake Novick. I'm the sports director for Special Olympics Maryland, overseeing pickleball for this year. Also on this call is Steve Bennett, Senior Director of Sports and Competition, who is my supervisor, who's been helping me throughout the season. Just going through a quick agenda for things that we'll be hitting on tonight, showing off some resources that we have, the competition schedule, a rough layout of what that's supposed to look like, any pickleball specific rules and information, then just some general information. And I believe actually we took out the admin section, but I forgot to take it out here. So just making sure you guys are all aware throughout the season, the coaches resources page for Special Olympics Maryland has been updated pretty regularly. The main page for all coaches resources for all sports, and then also we have a pickleball specific coaches resources page. Special Olympics North America also offers sports coaches resources page. It is linked here. That has a lot of great information as well. So just some important information. The final schedule and final divisions will be sent out no later than Thursday, June 26th. That is our typical standard timeline for getting event information out to delegations and to coaches. This gives us plenty of time at the state office to take in any scratches that are due to us beforehand and then get that information put out correctly. Again, here's just a link to the coaches resources page. And for those who don't know, we will be hosting our event at the Pickleball House, which is in White Marsh area. The address is here. And then when coaches arrive, please come to the control center area. You'll see us set up in the corner. This is a great place for you to check in, get the information that we're going to provide you, such as schedules, brackets, and other things like that. Please check in as soon as possible when you get there so you guys have that information and can disperse that out to your teams. Just a quick breakdown of the participation information. We have 3 counties that are planning to participate at the state games. Allegheny County has 6 delegation members. Anne Arundel has 36. Howard has 61. On this slide, it's looking at the breakdown of between what everybody's registered in. We will need to do some clarification and confirmation, still need to be done. I will be getting in contact with the head coaches hopefully later this week or early next week, depending on my availability. So we have a bunch of individuals and skills, individuals in levels 1 and 2 for singles, and then individuals in level 1 and 2 for unified doubles, and then 1, 2, and 3 for traditional doubles.
I will say, Jake, on this slide here, if you're looking closely, you can see level 1 for unified doubles as an example has 15 teams, and level 2 only has 1 team. Well, obviously that one team it can't play against themselves. So during Jake's communication with you guys as coaches, he'll be talking through this, and he'll talk about assessment forms and things that we need. But collectively, I think, and maybe I should have said this at the beginning, but this is our first year. So collectively, we're going to work together to create the best atmosphere and the best experience that we can, given the parameters and still staying within the rules. But there needs to be some flexibility. Again, we'll look to maybe the best team there in level 1, maybe, but the best top 2 teams will play the level 2 team as well. Again, just create some experiences and some good confirmations and competitions. So again, we'll work through it with you guys this year, and then we'll know how we'll continue to move the sport of pickleball forward for future years and lessons learned this year. But just wanted to bring that to your attention. So if you don't see level two, one team, well, then we're not coming. We don't have anybody to play. We will figure out a way to have a good competition there. So sorry for interrupting, Jake.
No, thanks, Steve. That was a great explanation. This is our quick and high level schedule for the day. The facility, we have access to the facility starting around 8 a.m. So that's when our volunteer registration will be. So we have a lot of day of volunteers that are eager to come help out at the event. Delegation registration, we ask coaches to be there no later than 8:45. This gives us plenty of time to get all the information distributed before our coaches meeting at 9 a.m. We'll have a quick 15 to 30-minute coaches meeting, just covering ground rules, schedule for the day, a little bit more in depth, anything like that. We'll do a pretty quick opening ceremony at 9:30, and then we'll do competition beginning at 10:30. That is for match play and for individual skills. Approximately at 11, we should have lunches available. We're still working on figuring out a vendor for that. So please be on the lookout for an email from me. We'll be expecting a quick turnaround to get some lunch orders in. And then right now, 4 p.m. is our anticipated end of competition time. May end earlier, but we do not anticipate it going over that time. So just going into some depth on the Special Olympics divisioning, knowing that this is a new sport and we have a lot of newer coaches to Special Olympics divisioning, just wanted to touch on this quickly. Generally, Special Olympics uses a 15% differential for scores, times, etc. as a guideline for creating divisions. This is a guideline, not a rule, and is in place to ensure that all athletes and teams have an equal opportunity to excel. The other factors in divisioning include age and gender, which based upon the sport can be combined as needed. The other general operative within Special Olympics divisioning and in place virtually since its inception is to have a minimum of 3 athletes or teams in a given division and no more than 8 athletes or teams in a given division, with more competitors within a division generally preferred by Special Olympics. There are never to be more than 8 within a division, but on occasion there can be less than 3 based off of scores and other factors. Competition should offer every athlete/team an equal chance to excel during competition. This is not to be construed as each athlete or team should receive a medal. These are the basic guidelines that we follow during our divisioning process. I'm the one who divisions first, and then Steve is the one who oversees the process and double checks the work to ensure accuracy. And then just continuing for divisioning, pickleball for match play uses game matchups throughout the season or the assessment score that I've been requesting from coaches. This will help determine who should be playing against each other based off of skill level. There is, in some cases, an open division could be created between traditional and unified teams, given the skill level on each team is similar. Although it's understood that earning a medal can be the highlight for a competitor, that should not be the main goal for the competitor. The goal for each coach and competitor should be to do their best, improve their skills, and enjoy the competition experience throughout the season. As a Special Olympics athlete, Oates states, "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt." One of their responsibilities as a coach is to prepare competitors for competitions and winning or losing as a part of sport, and to have competitors do their best at all times and learn life lessons throughout the sport. So now getting into some pickleball specific information for uniforms and
And Jake, sorry. One of the things we didn't mention at the beginning is obviously you saw the record that this session is being recorded, so that'll be posted on the coach's resource page. And throughout the webinar here, if you have a question, you could type that into the chat function, and I'll be monitoring that. And then at the end, if we have time, we'll open it up for questions. But I just want to make everyone aware of the chat function, that that's where you can ask questions, and I'll be monitoring that throughout this evening if questions do come up in that avenue.
great, thanks, Steve. So proper uniforming, all competitors must be in proper uniform to compete. They must be wearing athletic closed toe/heeled shoes. Formal style or dressy style pants and blue jeans are not allowed. Players should wear loose fitting gym shorts or conventional tennis shorts. For female participants, a tennis skirt is allowed. And then throughout all sports, all jewelry must be removed before competition. Medical alert bracelets must be taped to the skin to avoid potential injury to the athlete or other players. And then inappropriate attire could result in a team or individual being disqualified from the event. For Special Olympics Maryland, we are in the process of determining a vendor for lunches, as I mentioned earlier. Please be aware that email sent by Tuesday, June 24th, which is next Tuesday, a week from tonight, which will be asking for lunch orders. This order will need to be returned very quickly within the 24 hours. Is asked to ask individuals beforehand to get their lunch orders in. Typically, we do um, ham and cheese, turkey and cheese, or a vegetarian option. Only official registered delegation members will be included on the lunch order. So that is competitors, athletes, and unified partners, along with all coaches and volunteers that are helping with the event that day. All others are on their own for lunch. There's a bunch of different food options within the area of the facility. And then typical specialty dietary restrictions will be accounted for. Extraordinary situations may not be available based off the vendor that we choose.
And those typical dietary needs that we look to account for is it's more of a preference than a dietary special need. But as Jake said, we have a vegetarian option. We typically have the gluten-free option, the lactose intolerance option, things of that nature. But if it's a very, very, very specified dietary need, let us know. But we have had situations in the past where vendors or facilities weren't able to accommodate a specific out of the ordinary request, if you will. So again, the ordinary things that you typically know of and hear of a lot, our vendors and everything will be taking care of that. So, but we'll let you know based on the orders that you submit if there's any challenges.
We mentioned awards during the divisioning process, but awards will be presented as match play or individual skills divisions have concluded competition. We will not be awarding halfway through divisions just based off of there are some divisions that may do a round robin where if you lose a certain amount of games, there's no chance at getting a higher score. But we're going to wait till the entire division finishes competition to award. Players are to check into the award staging area upon completion of their play. Once their division has completed competition, please head over there. Once you're done awards, individuals are released back to the delegations and they're able to head out if they choose so. Please be patient when arriving to the awards area, as the one awards area will be giving out awards for individual skills along with match play. They will be bouncing back and forth through divisions. They may not go in sequential order, but they will try to go in order from when the divisions arrived so that everybody has equal waiting time.
I think one thing we also want to mention here, as this may be new to some, the whole process. So, as Jake said, once you finish the matches and once the results for division are known, then we'll make a call for those athletes and teammates or whatever to make their way to the staging area. As a coach, it's your responsibility, along with your other support personnel or whatever from your program, to have those competitors report to the staging area. Once they arrive in staging for the award ceremony, that's when coaches and family members and everybody else needs to back away, if you will, exit the staging area. It can be a situation where if there's too many cooks in the kitchen, if you will, it creates confusion and frustration with the volunteers who are preparing to have the open or the award ceremony. So, again, if needed, we will call a coach over or something like that. But once you get your athletes and competitors to the staging area for awards, that's your time to back away and get ready to watch them on the presentation area for their medals and ribbons and awards. So just want to keep everyone in mindset of that and also communicate that to family members as well. Thank you.
Moving on to the principle of meaningful involvement. I believe we covered this at the beginning of the season, but it's always great to reiterate right before competition. The role of unified teammate is to facilitate play by blending his or her skills within the level of his or her athlete teammate. So this is making sure that the athletes are the ones really scoring the points, blending the skills to their level in not overly aggressive shots, forceful serves, or rushing the net to make those shots happen. We're asking you to still be competitive, but don't be overly competitive and match the level of skills that you are playing with. This is also important in traditional divisions too. There is a bunch of ways that one athlete can take the principle of meaningful involvement away from another athlete by making them the star of the show, taking shots away from their section or rushing the net and doing everything like that. Please work with your doubles team so that everyone is contributing in an equitable way. Um, it is not cut and dry what is meaningful involvement, but this is the guideline that we go off of. And then just some keys for being a successful unified teammate. Focus on involving the athlete on the other team in meaningful involvement and equitable participation. Don't just rally back and forth between yourself and the other unified partner. The pace of the match is determined by the skill and the play level of the two athletes. Facilitate a safe and fun and meaningful competition. Display behavior that exemplifies superior sportsmanship. And respond to all effort, including opponents, with praise, praise, praise.
And I think one of the things with this meaningful involvement, I mean, if the basic takeaway is the athletes, whether it's doubles or unified doubles, the athletes and the unified teammates are both contributing to the result and both have a meaningful involvement in the competition and the matches. No one, like Jake said, no one's stepping over the boundaries and taking away shots from the other person, saying, "Oh, you're not fast enough. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to get that one. Then I'm going to run to the other side of the court and get back on my side and take that shot." It really is so that everyone is contributing and having an experience. We'll work with you guys on this as it may be new to some, and if we see something coming up or we observe where the meaningful involvement is not what we're looking for, we'll talk with you guys as coaches so you can talk to your teammates and your athletes and teammates and explain the situation. Um, I think we'll work with you this year if it's grossly obvious and they're not adjusting to if we have that communication, there is a potential for the teams to be disqualified, and nobody wants that. So again, it's just making sure that everyone's having fun, enjoying it, and having a meaningful role in the given matches. It's not just, hey, I'm going to serve and then step off the court and let you take over. They're both in there to play, and that's what we want. And I'm sure as coaches, that's what you want to see as well. So just wanted to mention that we will work with you. We'll bring it to your attention if we see something and adjust accordingly.
Just a few reminders. Talked about divisioning based off the assessment scores that should be submitted. If those have not been submitted to me, please email the assessments of each individual to me so we can get division sorted out. I'll be sending out a reminder email with follow-up to this, so please get that the information over to me. Another reminder, players should not call a ball out before it bounces. Stranger things have happened. Please let the ball bounce in the court or out of the court before making the judgment call. Players should understand the general match format and rotation. Officials will be on the court for reminders, but they shouldn't rely on them for the whole where to stand on every single point. General reminder for unified doubles and teammate involvement. We just talked about that. Player dominance can happen. Just talked about that as well. And if there's a question with an official, call for myself as the competition director. Steve Bennett and I will come over and talk with the official and anybody on the court that is in discussion of the rules. And then for individual skills, no coach/spectator intervention during the individual skills or match play. So that's no coaching. And then cheering from spectators is okay. Coaching is not. So during the competition of individual skills and match play, there's no active coaching allowed during a point.
So
Um,
you
you can
go
you can
ahead, Jake.
cheer on your team, you can cheer on your athletes, but you cannot tell your athlete to move forward, move left, hit the ball harder, hit it here, hit it there. That is active coaching, and that will lead to a disqualification of the athlete. Coaching does not come only from coaches. It can come from parents or spectators as well. So please remind your delegation members and your family members that let the athletes compete to the level of their ability. Don't coach them during a point.
I think similar to what we were talking about in the awards area, when the athletes and teammates come there into the staging area, that's when coaches and family members back away and let them go through the process there. Similarly, to competition, whether it's skills or match play, once the athletes or competitors enter the court where they're either doing their different levels for skills or having match play in doubles or singles, no coaching, no coaches are allowed on the court or to interfere with that staging process. So, if there's a situation that an athlete that we need to talk to a coach regarding an athlete or teammate, we'll come find you. But also, we've had this not recently in other sports where coaches want to be with the athletes throughout all the skills. Not sure exactly how we're going to set up the courts for the individual skills portions and stations, but when they're moving from one station to another, that's when you can briefly say, "Hey, just remember this one's going to be this. Remember what we were, how we coached and how we practiced." But once they enter that court, that's when, as Jake said, it's kind of step off, no more coaching. You can obviously, and we encourage you to cheer on the athletes and unified teammates. But that's the time where you back off and no coaching. Um, and again, we'll address that if we see it happening and just kind of give some friendly reminders. And hopefully that's all it takes. So again, appreciate your understanding and communication with that regarding letting the family members know as well.
This is what individual skills is going to look like. We're going to run through the individual skills competition twice. The first round will be the preliminary round. This will get a base score for athletes to determine the division. Divisions for individual skills will be done on site for the final round. There will be a brief 30 to 45-minute break in between the preliminary round and the final round. This is a great time for athletes to take lunch, use the bathroom, and get ready for the divisioning round. Again, during the final round, everybody will go through the stations one time and get their final score. Awards will be taking place after the final round, and the awards will be based off of the division and the final scores that are taken from that. For match play, this is how the match play format is laid out for Special Olympics pickleball. We will be utilizing this format for the different levels. Each scorecard after each match should be signed by the coach from each team, and then returned to the scoring table for the official scoring. Um, I know that there's a lot of athletes. We also have a lot of coaches and volunteers who are unified partners as well. If your team wants a unified partner or a volunteer to sign the scorecard instead of the head coach every single time, please just send me an email or let me know day of who that individual will be for your county. Please don't say 15 different people, but two per county, three per county is okay. And just so we can get that signed in officially. We will possibly be entering a match where there is a time limit as well, just to make sure that we all stay on pace. Once that time limit is determined, that'll be notified to you all coaches. It will be no less than 30 minutes, most likely, just based off of historical competitions within tennis and other sports that 30 minutes is typically our baseline. Just going into the quick process of protests and appeals for results. Um, if you feel that a protest is needed within a pickleball match for a rule that was interpreted or applied wrongly during the match, a protest must be filed within 30 minutes by the head coach to the control center. The Games Rules Committee will make a decision, and then if you wish to appeal that decision, that'll also be submitted to the Control Center. And that decision's made generally within 48 hours. Any effects of this appeal will be rectified, whether that is awarding a higher position medal, ribbon, or whatever to the correct athlete. We will never take away a gold medal from an athlete who should have gotten silver. We'll always award higher. And then results for the whole competition should be posted to the coaches' resources page no later than the Wednesday following the event, which would be July 2nd.
I think just to reiterate the point there, if you have if you as a coach feel that a rule has been misapplied, by all means, fill out a protest. You're acting on behalf of your competitors. There'll be no hard feelings. We don't get upset that a protest has been filed, but know that judgment calls are not protestable. Again, it has to be an actual rule that has been misapplied. But again, if you want to, by all means, and it's your job as a coach to advocate for your athletes if you feel that a rule has been misapplied. So we'll have the protest forms there in the control center, so you can just come over and let us know, and that also gives the sports rules committee a heads up that a protest is being filed so that they can prepare to meet and give a decision on that.
And that's all that we have for tonight. I know it was a quick webinar, but we just wanted to say thank you to everybody for taking the time to join us for this webinar. There's a lot of great information. With this being our first season, again, then just thank you for taking the time to work with us throughout the season, through the bumps in the road, and trying to make it smooth. We're going to take everything that we've learned from this year, apply it to next year, to make the season go smoother, make the state competition go smoother, everything and anything like that. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email is on the screen. Most of you should have it since you registered for this webinar. You got the email from me with the registration link, so please reach out if you have any questions. Steve Bennett is also available for questions via email. And again, just thank you for taking the time to put on pickleball seasons throughout your counties for all of our athletes.
And I think, we talked about earlier meaningful involvement and we're working together. Obviously, this is the first year for pickleball at Special Olympics Maryland. And collectively, it's our job to have those communications, to look at questions. We may not have all the answers. You may not have all the answers, but together we'll come up with some answers. We'll work through some situations. But again, I think if we all go into this mindset of this is new, there may be some bumps in the road, we'll figure it out as we go, and we're always going to look to raise the bar for the continuation of this sport throughout Special Olympics Maryland for the future years. So collectively, we'll work together, and collectively, we'll be the guinea pigs for the first year. So, again, thank you guys, as Jake mentioned. A few other notes. We at Special Olympics always look to leave the facility in better condition, if not in at least good condition as we found it. So we want to be good to the pickleball house there in White Marsh. We'll clean up after ourselves, clean up after you eat your lunches, and make sure all your equipment's done. Make sure we leave pickleball house in really good condition. We also want to make sure that we show sportsmanship throughout the day. There may be some frustrations, but again, as a coach and as staff members and our volunteers, to keep that good attitude, and we'll work together. But thank the athlete, or thank the volunteers, thank the pickleball house, and again, show good sportsmanship to your fellow competitors, yourself as coaches, and we'll look after each other. So again, as Jake said, we really appreciate all of your efforts. Without you, we have no pickleball sport. Without coaches, Special Olympics Maryland doesn't exist. You are the individuals who train and bring the athletes and unified teammates to the level where they'll have competition and be able to showcase their skills and what they've learned throughout the season. So, with that, Jake, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so Cynthia did post a question in the chat. She asked what type of pickleballs will we be using during the individual skills competition. We are working to determine that with the facility. They are going to be the ones helping us provide pickleballs for this first season. So at this time, I can't give you a definite answer, but I'm working to determine that with the facility.
And I don't see any other questions that have come to me directly or in the chat. So if there are any questions and you don't know how to use chat, if you would like to unmute and ask at this time, that would be that's your chance. And I'm not seeing any. So again, thank you guys so much. As Jake said, just reach out to him as your primary contact moving forward. Know that if you're not familiar or not aware, we do have our summer games coming up this weekend at Towson. Jake oversees the sport of bocce for that event, and we are in the tail end right now doing all the final planning, final packing, etc. All our deliveries are coming starting tomorrow at Towson, and Jake will be not as readily available as typical for the next couple days through Sunday evening. So if you call or email, if you don't hear back from him in 48 hours, reach back out. Again, we're very busy with summer games, but we also want to give you guys the due time and respect with pickleball only about 2 weeks away. So, um, Cynthia and Jamie, I think I see you have unmuted.
Thank you. We were just our athletes with the have been practicing with the soft pickleball, and it would be a really hard transition for the ones in the which division is it? Individual skills to transition to the hard ball. We tried last to see, and it just didn't work well.
Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. Like I said, I'm trying to work with the venue to determine if they have those balls readily available. If not, I'm going to look into other solutions for that. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out as soon as possible.
We bought a bunch too, so we'd be happy to bring them. I can do a count if you.
Yeah, that would be great if you could bring those with you. Then we can determine what's the best to use for all counties.
I would
Okay.
say I don't, and I'm not sure. I know Howard County is obviously, not obviously, but Howard County is on the call. Not 100% sure if the other two, Anne Arundel and Allegheny, is represented tonight, but
Allegheny is Cynthia.
oh, Cynthia, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So, Howard County, if there's someone from Howard, do you guys also use the softball that Cynthia is referring to from Allegheny?
This is Steve. We use a regular pickleball, not a softball.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
I just have a real quick question, if I could.
Yeah, of course.
You'd mentioned several times about the coaching.
Mhm.
I'm a little concerned about your position on, being eliminated based on the coaching. And sometimes the kids, based on their level, both mentally and physically, may need a little bit of a reminder. So I'm a little concerned about your position on the coaching aspect.
Yeah, the coaching aspect is throughout the season. That's what you as coaches train the athletes and that kind of thing. Um, what it is it does create sometimes an unfair advantage, and it also can create confusion to other athletes. So once they enter the competition court or field or playing surface, that's across the board in Special Olympics. There's no instructional coaching, there's encouragement. Are you talking to Steve on individual skills or the match play?
Match play.
Match play.
Are you mainly talking about rotation or actually active hitting during a rally?
I'm just referring to maybe moving forward, moving backwards, moving left, moving right, based on serving as a reminder to say, oh, you just served on this side, on the right side, and now you need to be on the left side. Is a referee going to be doing that to
Yep.
remind them
Yeah,
versus
so
a
we'll be
coach?
having
I'm
so we'll
sorry.
be having volunteers as our officials on the courts. We're also actively recruiting officials. Um, they're the ones that are the athletes and the unified partners are the ones that are supposed to be rotating between serves. If there needs to be a reminder, that's supposed to come from the official. We're
Okay.
also going to be instructing the officials on how to remind them and encourage them to remind them throughout the day and keep that reminder in their head so that they know what to do. But we can work through that during the competition and show you kind of what we're talking about when that. But during rotation, it is not as big of a deal. But during the match, like the actual rally, when coaching should not be happening.
So when you mean coaching, you're meaning from an outside coach versus a referee that will instruct them to move left or right, or you just serve from that spot. You need to move over to the left, type thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Or if
And
they're standing in the wrong position based on, where they were before.
correct. And yeah, I also know that the rotation between serving and non-serving in pickleball can be confusing based off of where you are throughout the match. We can also help provide those reminders as well. We just cannot provide those move forward during this rally, during this point to hit the ball harder at the net, to move up to the volley line. Does that
Okay,
make
so
sense?
you're referring to not the up and back, but more left and right.
Correct.
Where they're supposed to be standing based on serving.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
The
does that also imply receiving? So serving and receiving.
Yeah,
Yep.
the individuals on the court serving as the officials and volunteers or whatever, they will help facilitate. What you're talking about is, okay, you need to move to this side now
Okay.
to receive the serve, or hey, you just served from that side, let's move over to the other side. They'll help facilitate that. So
Okay. Yeah, that's something a little bit different. That would normally be something that a coach would say, move over left or right, you're in the wrong
Right.
position, versus a ref. So
Yeah.
that would be a little bit different if you're, talking about official, pickleball rules or requirements.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Is there any other questions that we can answer for you all tonight? Going once, going twice. Again, just thank you all for joining tonight. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.